every penny
So
spent on that
you
car.
wait. So you bought this car, got it off the lift.
Oh yeah.
Didn't even drive it down the road.
This is it.
What
First,
do you do?
First
thing.
heater. First heater.
First heater.
Might have a second one in her.
Wow. Like, look at this. The smoke is coming out of the windows, the doors.
Well worth it.
Look at that.
No, don't do that.
What? Look at that. Does anyone need a new set of tires? Does anyone need a new set of tires? Look at the fog. Look at how sick this looks. What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to part 2 for the custom exhaust fabrication and build on the 1974 CB450 CAFÉ RACER. And today we are going to finalize everything and get it all tacked up. Hopefully welded. If not welded, there might be a part 3, but part 2 is basically taking what we taped up at home at the MZR shop, and we have traveled across town to my cousin's house, of which has a full machine shop and a whole array of dope-ass cars. And he's been building custom cars for the past 30 plus years. And for example, if you couldn't notice that in the opening scene, we did a sick-ass burnout in the 81 Malibu that he just picked up, and it's a little sentimental. He might get into it. Anyways, I've kind of learned everything from my cousins and my personal persistence, so it's pretty cool to finally introduce you guys to the family of how all this stuff goes on. And without further ado, let's roll the intro and get right into this little shop tour at my cousin's house. All right, everyone, here is the shop. This is the main shop, of which was recently sort of refurbished in a way to be fully decked out with all the machining equipment you would ever need to do anything for any build of any sort. So this is my cousin Giancarlo, known as by401k_, and this is sort of the shop. He's been doing this stuff for over 30 years. Obviously, he'll be able to explain it in more depth. And we'll stitch some photos of previous builds that he's done right here.
Going on, guys, this is my Celica build. I guess we'll start with this one. I've had this for probably 3 years now, and it's been a long process. So everything on this is like one-off, custom, and I kind of do everything myself. I'm learning as I go, and what I mean by that is like perfecting my skills that I kind of already know, but there's still a lot to learn. This car is going through the ringer. We did full suspension, drivetrain.
I remember when he first picked it up, I was here in last winter. The engine was over on the engine stand, just the shell, full interior out, and I saw it when it was in. So it's been quite a journey. Obviously, sourcing parts is probably a pain in the ass.
I drove it in the garage,
yeah,
and I should have just left it alone, but here we are. Here we are. You know,
yeah. One
thing leads to the next. You know what I mean?
So you can see the full suspension. Tell us a little bit about this setup. Obviously, it's
yeah, this is a 2-piece rotor.
Yeah,
and this is for a A86 Corolla. So you kind of adapt things on here, and this car, the Celica, kind of shares the same chassis as that. So there's a lot of parts that are, you know, interchangeable. Upgrade your suspension and brakes for your Corolla, same shit here. So it's got everything you need. You know, we got all the control arms, A arms, all the adjustable, everything. Probably way overkill for what anyone would do with this thing. You know what I mean? So same thing in the back. We have smaller scale, but it's still the best option for a build like this. Still missing some linkage and stuff. We'll do that as we go, but little by little we'll get there. Gonna do some flares on it, work on some body stuff, and that's it. Should be fun.
so yeah, it's kind of just at the moment it's just pending. You know, with these builds, I'm sure we all kind of go through the same thing. I know I did with the 750 and for sure with the 450 build. You know, you have it sitting there for so long, it's not really glorious. You put all these nice shiny things on, but it's still kind of, at some point you kind of lose a little bit of that kindling on the fire. So he's in the process of rekindling that fire back up, and I think once he hears that engine start, get some wheels on it picked out and seeing the stance, this thing is going to come back together in no time. As you can see, this is a full project. He doesn't do anything half-assed, if
Yes,
you couldn't tell.
Or just snowballs into me not doing anything half-ass. The plan is keep it simple, but we're just stupid about it, and we don't.
One thing that we totally did not touch on, which is kind of BS because, look at this. Full custom. And a big reason why we wanted to sort of display and showcase the exhaust is because that's sort of the whole premise of this episode and series. Part 1, Part 2 is doing a full custom exhaust for CB450. And since I've never TIG welded, and I've tried it once or twice, but never really perfected anything to the nature of doing it for the 450, and also I don't have the necessary tools, so that's where Giancarlo comes in. He's going to help me, sort of shadow me, teach me the ropes of how to fuse and put pie cuts together, clean them up, and dial it in. So moving on from the Celica, he has owned quite a few cars in the past, but we're moving over to his other garage space with a few beauties that reside in this gorgeous space. One of which is this beautiful Nova. And
this is a 72. I've had this for probably 3 or so, 4 years, and this started off pretty ratty. It wasn't like a full restoration, which sometimes when you do full restorations like that, you end up not driving them. So obviously you can see like there's bugs on the window. There's, you know, like I drive the thing because that's what it's for. If it was too pretty, you won't drive it, which we have another car that I don't drive that is that. So, yeah, right. So, this thing I really like. I love driving in the rain, take to dinner, whatever, do whatever. I recently started another build similar to this where it's a little less work, but this is a classic. And it's iconic 72 Nova. Like, who doesn't want one?
And also, one thing that we keep forgetting is Giancarlo is the fitment king. And one thing on this build that makes it stand out from the rest is the fitment that he achieved, especially in the front.
Yeah. Most people do I think they do 275 in the front.
Dude, like, look at that.
And these are 295, and I was not taking no for an answer.
295.
295 in the front, and I could probably do a 335 in the rear, but because the tires are so damn expensive, we're at 315, and that's good. That's good enough.
Damn.
It's definitely got a presence. You know, when you pull up with this thing, it's, you know, it's completely different than what people have.
And then here is an E30 swapped.
This is my buddy's, my best friend's E30, and he wanted to swap it, and I said, dude, just bring it to my house. Like, I love helping people out the most I can. Obviously, this is what's happening. And this has been at the house probably about a month, but it's all complete now, and we took it for a drive yesterday. Obviously, it's a work in progress, so the heart is done, the tranny's done, the differential's done. That's really the main stuff. And from there, we'll move on to our exterior, interior. But we got a great start, and I'm happy with it.
Who doesn't like an E30 swapped M52?
S50.
S50.
And
even
four-door
better.
at that.
And four-door. And four-door. But to what we all long for.
Yeah.
R32?
R32.
R32.
It's a 90 R32. This is my second one I've had. Thomas will show you a picture of what I have. What I had before. But yeah, that one was good. It was white. It was completely different. But I've always wanted a black one. And here it is. And I don't even drive it. I've had this.
Please.
I've had it a while, and I've had it on the road for a while, and I haven't even driven it yet this year. So,
Let's take a walk around the front quick.
Show you what's up.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
Look at that.
So this too, I like kind of fully went through and kind of overhauled it minimally, I guess we'll say. I didn't want to go single turbo or do any crazy stuff because I already did that, and I know it gets way out of control. And you'll easily dump 25 grand on the engine, which been there, done that, not doing it again. So this is more than sufficient. Probably makes about 400 or so. Little rare bits on it that you can't really get. This is $600 oil cap, which I think is ridiculous for the Nissan market. But anyway, another subject.
Nice.
But interior's clean. This is definitely a driver, and it's definitely a keeper.
Hard to see, but
super clean, and it'll stick around for a little while.
And how do we not highlight MZR flag repping?
Oh yeah, always.
Gotta rep the MZR flag. Nah. All right, everyone. Now that we have went through a full shop tour, we've seen the storage garage and then the full workshop garage with the full machine shop and fabrication setup. It's pretty freaking dialed in, and as you can see, we saw a little bit of what Giancarlo is all about outside of just, you know, building and fabrication. He has had some incredible builds in the past, has a pretty sick track record of not only previous builds, but just cool cars acquired and driven. So with that being said, we are going to get back to what we have all been waiting for, and that is the start and the process of finally building the fully custom exhaust for the CB450 build. So we are super pumped. I have a really sick design that we are going to try to achieve, which I think we will, and I think it's going to provide a really unique sound and definitely a super unique look. Let's cue up the music, get into the time lapse, and let's start the process of building the custom exhaust. So as you can see, it might be hard to pick up on camera, but the edges are not consistently flat. There's grooves, there's bumps, and there's a bevel on the outside. And what we want to do is create a flat surface, so there's a lot of material for the mate for the fuse of the tack weld. Ideally, you want the surface as clean and flat as possible, so you don't necessarily have to add material, you just fuse the two together.
Homage got the vibe, got the vibe, got the vibe, got the
right, guys, now we're gonna pause a little bit and give a little context to what we've done, where we are, and what we're working on currently, which is a very crucial piece to the design of the exhaust that I really wanted to achieve. So to begin, we have pies that come together right up top. They come together here to a little 90, and then they pinch down to a straight. And then they're gonna join. We're gonna have a nice pie section here, which then will join to a X pipe and dump out the back here with two mufflers. So what we're doing currently is we welded in the X pipe first, and then we did our best to mock up with a piece of plate under there to give us space between the frame and ultimate ground clearance as possible, basically trying to achieve as much ground clearance as possible. And having the X pipe stationary will make things easier to build this section here rather than building this section first and then back to the X pipe. So that's sort of the game plan right now, and we will time lapse the process, but essentially just wanted to hop on, give a quick little update as to the routing and thought process behind the design this far. Cue up the music, and let's get back to this episode.
Homage got the vibe.